How's it going, everyone? It's Ryan Delgado. Welcome to my studio. I wanted to show you today how to mount a piece of linen onto a panel, and this is actually a pretty simple process. So I've done this a few times already, and they've all come out pretty successful. So I'm confident I know what I'm doing, that I can share it with you guys. So let me just show you what I got here. This is the panel I'm going to be using. It's called an Alumacraft panel, and it's just an aluminum panel. It used for painting. You can get these from jerrysartorama.com. I wanted to go with something that was archival, something that would last a long time, in other words. As opposed to using a wood panel, which can be prone to warping and deteriorating over time, I wanted to go with something that I knew would last a good while. So I went with aluminum panels, and I've used these, like I said, a few times already, and they've been great. So I highly recommend these if you're going to be doing this. Let's see, these they're very sturdy, they're very strong. Being aluminum, they're also very lightweight. And the best thing of all is that they are cheap. These are really inexpensive. I got a bunch of these suckers, and they're really affordable. And you can get them in all types of different sizes. I've done some 8x10s. I did a 6x12. So you can get a variety of sizes on these guys. So yeah, Alumacraft aluminum panels. Here's the linen that I'm going to use. This is Clausen's number 66, oil primed. I love this stuff. I've also used Clausen's number 15, double oil primed before. Both are great. Both are very versatile. It's just a medium texture linen that you can use for portraits or landscapes or whatever. And it works great. I love this stuff. So that's the linen. Let me show you, let me focus in on the glue here. This is a, focus. This is Lineco PVA glue, PVA adhesive. That's what you want to go for. And also make sure you get something that is archival. That's the magic word of the day, is archival, something that will last you a long time. So I also got this, I think I actually got this from Blick. So you can get it from Blick, you can get it from Jerry's, pretty much anywhere. It's pretty readily available. So just want to make sure that it is an archival PVA. That's the thing. Got a brush to spread it around. This little guy, this is called a potter's rib. It's a ceramics tool. If you've ever taken any ceramics classes or done any kind of pottery, then you know what this is. It's just a tool that you use to smooth out pottery, both on the inside of the pot and on the outside. Today I'm going to use this for mounting the linen here. I'm going to be using this straight edge to kind of flatten out the linen. So that's one thing you want to make sure you have, is just some kind of straight edge like this. Doesn't have to be this exact tool, but just some kind of flat straight edge that you can use to flatten out your linen, because that'll be important. And then I just have a sheet of parchment paper. This is just to protect the surface of the linen as I'm flattening it out. So that's what that is, and that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get this going. Now, when you get these Alumacraft panels, the two sides of them are a little different. There's a textured side, and then there's a smoother side to them. So the side that you want to mount the linen to is the textured side, and you'll be able to tell which one is which when you peel off this film. So there's the textured side. Now, like I said, I've done this a couple of times already, and one thing that is optional, I suppose, it certainly doesn't hurt to do it, is to kind of sand this a little more, just to give it a little more texture, a little more grab for the linen. That's always a good thing. But I wouldn't say you necessarily have to. Like I said, I've done this both ways, sanding it and not sanding it. So today I am not going to sand it. I think it'll be all right. I'm also going to take a little file and just kind of file the edges because they're a little sharp. So just really quick, this is all you really need to do. Alright, that's good. So, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to take the glue, shake it up, and just kind of spread it all over. And the thing that you want to make sure you do is really focus in on the edges of the panel, because that's the one thing you'll find when you're doing this, is that even when you do get enough glue along the edges, there still is a tendency for the linen to bubble up a little bit along the edges, to kind of to bubble up a little bit. So that just happens, you know. It's just important that you make sure that those edges are glued down really nicely. So just going to spread this out a little bit. Make sure you get the entire surface covered, especially these edges, and that's another good reason to sand this first, is just to make sure that the glue spreads nicely, because sometimes even when you brush it out, the glue kind of has a tendency to separate a little bit. So if you sand it down a little bit, it'll have less of a tendency to do that. So, but it's, like I said, it's not terribly necessary. This will do just fine. Alright, so what we're going to do next is I'm going to let's put the linen face down, and then I'm going to put the panel on top of the linen, like so. Another thing I did not mention, but that you want to make sure you do, is when you cut your linen, first of all, cut it to a square, but also make sure that you cut it a little bit, with a little bit of excess along these edges, because with this glue there does tend to be a little bit of shrinkage.
Do women know about shrinkage?
What do you mean, like laundry?
When it comes to this linen, when it tightens up. So you want to make sure you have a little bit of linen, a little bit of extra outside these edges to compensate for that. So let's turn this over now. Cover it with parchment, and we're going to start from the middle here and just kind of spread it outward to the edges. pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this, I'm going to lay it flat down on the floor like so, and just put a whole lot of weight on it. So let me show you how I do that. Okay, so let me show you what I got here. This is my makeshift press for my linen panel here. So I've got 4 of these 5-pound weights sitting on top. So I got 20 pounds on top. In addition to that, let me show you what I got underneath. I've got these 2 really, really heavy art history books. And honestly, no kidding, I would say each of these books is about 5 pounds. So that's about another 10 pounds sitting on top. And then underneath here is the panel. So yeah, it has a lot of weight sitting on top. So there's that. Best rule of thumb, I would say, is just to keep this weight on for about 24 hours and come back the next day to finish it off. So let's go ahead and do that and fast forward 24 hours and let's finish this panel. And here we are. It's been 24 hours, so let's go ahead and trim these edges and see what we got. Hopefully this is good to go. Alright, now just checking the edges to see if any part of it has kind of bubbled up a little bit or hasn't glued down all the way. It is looking really nice. There's a little bit here, okay, yeah. Okay, there's a good example. Let me go ahead and focus in on this and let me show you what I mean. I don't know if you guys can maybe see this a little bit, if I can get it focused in. Okay, here we go. So right here is just a little area that didn't glue down all the way. So what we're going to do is, I got a little brush here and I've got my glue. So I'm going to go ahead and just lift this up just a little bit so I can get the brush in here. Actually, I'll get a smaller one. This will do. And just get a little bit of the glue here on my brush. And really, it's just a matter of getting right in here, in between here. And then gluing that back down. Let's see. I don't have my straight edge on me right now, but that's okay. It doesn't need it. Just apply good pressure to it and There you go. Okay, take a look. Here it is. This panel is good to go. It is ready to paint. So, yeah, I told you guys it wasn't that difficult. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys, that it was useful and easy to follow so that you can make your own panels. And so yeah, good luck with your panels, and I will see you guys in the next one. So take care and God bless you all.
Why does it shrink?
It just does.